What's up, accountants? My name is Mike Whitmire. I'm the co-founder and CEO of FloQast, Inactive CPA. Really excited to walk you through our application today. So I was actually an accountant for about 7 years, and it felt like death by 1,000 paper cuts. I was in status update meetings all the time. I was sending out the same emails over and over again, and I felt like I was always reconciling our trial balance. So because of all that, I decided to leave accounting and found FloQast. I'm really excited to walk you through our application, so let's kick into a demo. All right, here we are. Same guy, same shirt, different haircut, but we're gonna hop right into it. So many folks might know FloQast for the month-end close, and that is the core of our product and what we really help with. But I'm starting on our dashboard here, which is a much higher level dashboard than what you might be used to. So you'll see that I have clicked on all workflows. And the reason we have something called all workflows is because we noticed that a lot of our clients were obviously tracking the month-end close inside of FloQast, but also starting to track a lot of upstream processes and downstream processes. So I actually have a PowerPoint slide ready. I want to walk through that concept really quickly before we hop into demoing the rest of the application. So I flip over here and you'll see that we have the close workflow at the center of the slide here. And we really think the close is central to everything that we do. It's the process where we reconcile our trial balance. We get that peace of mind that the data we are working with in downstream processes is in fact correct. We're ready for financial reporting, we're ready for the audit, and we're ready for forecasting and budgeting. So the close is key. It all starts with the close. But there are a ton of workflows that live around the close. We've designated those as either upstream or downstream. So on the upstream side, you have things like payroll, AR, AP, sales tax, so on and so forth. And then downstream from the close are those processes that I already mentioned, which is financial reporting, audit preparation, and then budgeting, forecasting, planning, all that good stuff. So really what ended up happening was our clients were tracking us for all of this because it's so related to the close. And we decided, hey, let's lean into that. Let's adjust the application so we can really support all workflows that are out there, help drive much broader accounting operational excellence for our clients. Now, for the purposes of this demo, I am going to focus on the close still, but you can see that on our all workflows dashboard here, there's a lot more than just the close. Here we have the close for multiple periods, but as I scroll down to more of my workflows, first of all, you'll see we're here on Saturday, September 10th. The team is making me work on a Saturday, but hey, such is life, this is accounting. So we have our close workflows. I keep scrolling down. Then I'm going to start to run into things like compliance. There are a lot of checklist items, a lot of workflow around compliance. We want to help track that. We have a lot of FP&A workflow that I mentioned. And then another common one is payroll processing that we've seen. So now as a controller, chief accounting officer, anyone who wants oversight over your entire accounting function, you can do that through this all workflows dashboard. For today, however, I'm all about the close process. So we're going to do the close global setup here for August 2022. So I click through here and it's going to take me to my dashboard for all of my various entities. So under the global close, we then have a variety of entities. You know, in this demo account, we're a rather large company. So we have things like corporate, Australia, Brazil, France, so on and so forth. All that said, our clients run the gamut from smaller teams, maybe 5 or 6 folks with 1 or 2 entities. That's a good time to start with FloQast. We've had a lot of clients scale with us from that size up to, hundreds of accountants on FloQast, hundreds of team members, dozens of entities, all that good stuff. And also just start directly with clients of that size at this point. So whether your needs are on the smaller end with 1 or 2 entities or on the larger with dozens, we'll be able to support you no problem through that. I'm going to go to FloQast Corporate here, see what's going on with this account. When I click to FloQast Corporate, I see my checklist items are 53% prepared, 18% reviewed. I feel like there's room for improvement. And then on the reconciliation side, we're 68% tied out, 42% prepared, and 8% reviewed. Now, you might be saying, hey, I'm a professional skeptic. Why is the tie out number higher than the prepared number? Shouldn't those be prepared in real time? Well, one of the beautiful things about FloQast is we're able to automate many different types of reconciliations. Our philosophy around reconciliations is that some of them are very challenging, very custom, very specific, very unique, and you really want to use Microsoft Excel for those types of accounts. I think back to some of the ones I did as a deferred revenue accountant, and they were just so nuanced. It was easier for me to work inside of Excel rather than do it in my ERP. There are other accounts where we can automate those. That's things like bank accounts, bank reconciliations, perhaps simple amortization schedules, or those reconciliations for accounts that don't change period over period. Goodwill, once you book it, it's going to rarely change after that. So if your goodwill balance is 20 million bucks, let's just say, hey, that fixed balance is 20 million bucks. And if it ever isn't $20 million, FloQast will give you a notification that it's changed. If not, you should be comfortable with it. You should be able to move on with your life. And just a way that we're saving time with automation of those rather simple accounts, but then also giving flexibility for Excel when needed for those more complex accounts. So this is our overview dashboard, and I'm going to really dive in here on the folders page. And folders is the backbone of everything we do with the application. Super important for accountants. We're all about documentation, having it in an organized manner. And that's exactly what we've done, is structured the folders such that it perfectly meets your needs as an accountant. And what you'll see that off on the left-hand side here. So I'm in FloQast Corporate. I'm in the year 2022. Here we are in August closing the books, and you'll see a variety of folders underneath, which for the most part are going to align with different balance sheet accounts. And so see, we have the cash, all the common ones. I'm going to do deferred revenue. It's what I know and love. So let's go to deferred revenue. And the workflow when you're going to close an account is going to be all the different checklist items that you need to complete, all the various documents that need to be saved along with that account for future reference, for audits, reviews, so on and so forth. And then, of course, the actual reconciliations that are occurring on that account. So taking it from the top on the checklist here, we offer a lot of accountant-specific workflow. So obviously you want to put the description in here. You then have the due dates that you want to assign. We operate on a T plus or minus system, so you can have deadlines ahead of the month end and obviously deadlines after the month has ended. You assign that work to preparers and reviewers. We support multiple preparers, multiple reviewers, whatever you need. And then once that work's done, you can come in here and sign off on it. And when you sign off, it's marked as completed, and we date and timestamp that so it's always available, and helps us run some analytics and help drive some more operational excellence through that. And then each of our checklist items has a variety of tools attached to it. So here is a little eyeball. You can follow this item if you want special insight into it. This pencil allows you to leave review notes, and I'll touch on the review note functionality in a second. This one allows you to attach documents directly to a checklist item if you'd like to do that. And then for each of our items, we have a settings page that allows you to quickly make changes as you're going through your work. And continuing down, we have our documents. So this is where our integration with cloud storage providers come in. So we really wanted to allow you to continue working the way you already work. A big part of that is integrating with whatever cloud storage provider you're using. So with that, we offer integrations to what we call the big five. That's going to be Microsoft OneDrive, Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, and then Ignite as well. And so whichever one you're using, we can accommodate that. We'll go ahead and integrate with that. And we're going to get this folder structure set up for you. And once it's set up the first time, then what we do is we go ahead and at the end of the month, we roll forward the entire folder structure. We update all the dates for you. We roll forward the checklist items. We update those deadlines for you, and just automate that whole roll forward process to allow you to focus on actually closing the books and not setting up the checklist and recreating the folders and all that kind of boring, mundane stuff. So to really highlight this, I'm going to hop into my my Explorer here, and you'll see that I have the classic folder structure pulled up. We're looking at the demo account. We're in FloQast Corporate here. We're in 2022. We're looking at August, and we are, of course, looking at deferred revenue. Now you'll see that I have a bunch of Excel-based reconciliations here. Deferred revenue is something that is complicated. It has manual adjustments, so it's easier for me to do in Excel. And I have 5 files here. And you'll note on this, we have those same 5 files are all correlated. So this is that direct integration. If you want to access these workbooks through our application, you can do that. If you want to work in native Excel and just go through the folders, you can do that as well. So let me fire this up and show you a little bit about how we interact with Excel. So back to the app real quickly, you'll see that for account 2600, we of course have the account number here, and then the reconciled balance showing 45,000. That number is coming directly out of the workbook. And then what we do with the documents is we want to associate that with the various reconciliations. And so when we help you get set up with FloQast, we're going to go ahead and associate the appropriate ERP accounts to the folder. So the reconciliation module is where our integration with the ERP provider comes in. We work with any ERP out there. If you're using it, we can work with it. Don't worry about it. That's fine. And we have customers on dozens of different ERPs. So we're able to support all of those. And what we're doing here is for account 2600, this 45,000 is coming directly from the trial balance. And you'll see that we have a reconciled balance of 45,800. Great, they match. That's what's coming out of my workbook here. So the way that works is we're just looking at a reconciliation template. This is one of the ones that we offer. You know, if you'd like to shift over to some FloQast templates, we'd love to help you with that. If you want to just keep using the workbook that you've always used, go for it as well. That's totally fine. The only thing we need is a hashtag. So the way that works is you'll see we have our per sub ledger balance here. we have 3 reconciling items, and then we get to a tie out amount here. So this is our final amount to be tied out. And back when I was an accountant, when I was an auditor, we'd come into here and we just type in, TB or maybe GL if we want to go that route. So all we said was, hey, let's switch it up a little bit. Please type in hashtag FQ and then the account number that this relates to. So now for us, for our technology on the back end, we're able to go in through the cloud storage provider, search through those workbooks, find any hashtags, and extract the balance to the left of them. So that's how that 45,000 is getting into FloQast, is through that Excel integration. We have no reconciling items associated with it. There's no difference. So I'm good to go in here and sign off on it. And I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. Just like that. Now, in this example, our settings are for more of a flexible sign-off mode. So you might have said, hey, this is assigned to Jason. Why can Mike sign off on it? That's because we're more in that flexible sign-off mode, and we can support whatever type of control you would like. So at the earlier stage, maybe you want to be a little more flexible, smaller team, all hands on deck, getting the books closed, whatever. If anyone can get to the work and sign off on it, just let them sign off on it. When you scale and become a larger private company or a public company, you want stricter controls around that. So you'll enable strict sign-off mode here whenever that's appropriate for you. And that'll be a little bit more strict. And I could not have signed off on Jason's item, for example. Now, one of the things that I really, really love and was a personal pain point of mine is that my Excel reconciliation was not linked to my ERP. And so what that meant is if anything changed on either side of the equation, I would have no idea that happened. But in FloQast, let's say someone came in here and accidentally hit the delete button, and all of a sudden this balance became $70,000. In the old world, I would have had no idea about this. The auditors would have come out in 6 or 9 months or whatever. I would have given them the schedule and it would not have tied out to the trial balance, and I'd be embarrassed and it would be really bad for everyone involved. Now, what happens in FloQast is we've saved that file. Everything can be updated in real time. So if I come in here and hit the refresh button, what we're doing is, on the one hand, we're going to the ERP and we're rechecking the trial balance, and we're ensuring that we're trying to understand if any changes have been made there, pulling the most recent update. On the reconciled balance side, we're going into the Excel workbook, grabbing the new number, and you'll see that here we've pulled in that 70,800. All of a sudden we have a difference. We're off by 25,000. That is a material number for us. And so we want to investigate that. And then you'll also notice that it went ahead and removed my sign off because we don't want everyone thinking that account was tied out and good to go already. So this would have removed my sign off. I would have gotten a notification that something I had already signed off on has now changed. I need to go investigate that and fix it. That'd be a piece of cake. I'd go in here and be like, oh, someone deleted my $25,000, and let's fix that and move on with our lives with the refresh. So that's our reconciliation functionality. Again, this is for more the Excel-based ones that I'm showing you. The auto-rec ones, there are 3 options. They take a little bit longer to go through. So if you would like to learn more about our auto-rec product, I'll refer you to our account executives to walk through a more in-depth demo to really understand which of those products might be a good fit for you versus which of them should be done inside your ERP or whatever. It just changes based on your situation. So we'd love to have a consultation and chat through that. Now, what we just went through is the workflow for an account or a group of accounts. And this is really great for that, preparer, staff, senior accountant level, where you want to understand everything that's happening within this process. If you're a controller or an accounting manager, perhaps you want a higher level view of everything that's going on within the close. That's where you would use these centralized tabs. So we have our checklist, which is just a roll up of every checklist item from every folder on here. So you can scan through here. We have really great filtering functionality as well. So I just want to see what's assigned to me. I can find these items that are assigned to me really quickly. What am I following? I can follow various items. What's due today? You can look at that. And so a lot of really great ways to filter and become efficient. Reconciliations is similar. So every reconciliation that's associated to a folder then shows up inside of this page. So this is that tie-out binder, eliminated. It's on one screen inside of FloQast. I love this page, I think, more than anything inside of FloQast. Is I have nightmares of tie-out binders, and those are no longer necessary. So same deal with filtering, easy to go through. You can, of course, do a completeness check. This will make sure that every balance that's set up inside of your ERP has an associated reconciliation. If not, we'll flag that for you so you're audit ready, and just really keeps everything peace of mind for you around reconciliations. And then notes is used for review notes. I think review notes are near and dear to all of our hearts in accounting. So if I'm a controller, accounting manager, someone at the reviewer level, I have a question on a checklist item or a document or a reconciliation, I can leave it directly on that page. Whoever I assign it to is going to get pinged saying, hey, this review note's been left for you, please address it. Once I address it, I'm going to come in here and mark it as resolved. I mark it as resolved. It moves over to the resolve column. The person who left the note then gets a notification of, hey, this has been resolved, check it out, make sure you're good with it. They would then come in here, assuming they're good with it, they would mark it as closed. If not, it would go back to unresolved. And then once it's closed, it moves over to the right-hand swim lane here. It's saved forever. It's great documentation for when the auditors come out in 9 months and they say, hey, what happened with this transaction? Rather than, I can't remember and I need to dig through my emails and my Slacks and all this kind of stuff. Instead, it's just saved right here. It's associated with that item, a piece of cake to find, and just makes life much easier. And then with all three of these centralized tabs that I just walked through, checklist, recs, and notes, you also have the ability to export them to either a PDF or Excel. And that's helpful for, really providing to the auditors for them to help do their work that much more efficiently. So that's our focus on the core close process. We have 2 more pages to run through, and this to me is really where accounting can get exciting and strategic and help drive operational excellence within a company. So back when I was an accountant, people would say, oh, strategic accountant, and I really had no idea what that meant. I was just like, my job's to tie the books out and that's it. However, as we've been working on FloQast and I've thought about it a little bit more, the real strategic areas for accounting relate to helping drive efficiency and operational excellence across the business. We're very good at that because we're good at processes, procedures, policies. We're always understaffed, so we're good at doing things quickly and efficiently. So accounting is really well lending itself to helping drive operational excellence, and that's what we're seeing. Analytics helps with that. On the other side is really that understanding a high level what's changing in the numbers and being able to provide insights to executives about what's going on around the business because we understand on a high level what's happening. So analytics helps drive that operational excellence. I'm going to kick into analytics. First part is really about your close progress. Hey, when am I forecasted to close? This chart helps you understand progress to date versus expectations. If the blue lines are below the gold line, that means we are behind pace and we need to pick it up and focus on things. But close trends is really, really what I love and where we can help become more efficient and really shave days off that close process. So as I look at my trend here, we're looking over the course of 2022. And we started at 7 days. And as the years progressed, we've been able to chip days off of it. And all of a sudden, we're down to 5. We've had an uptick in August. This is a real bummer. I'm going to go ahead and attribute this to people have been out on vacation because no one works in August anyway. So there we go. I'm good with that for now. But let's see really what might be causing any delays in our close. So as I go down here, we're going to look at what's late on a recurring basis. So you have late checklist items, you have late reconciliations, and then you have late team members. So on the checklist side, this example, we're looking at cash, record interest receivable. This has been late 8 out of 8 periods and on average is 8 days late. So now I, as a senior accountant, accounting manager, whatever, I want to make this process better. This seems to be some low hanging fruit. So let me go investigate our cash accounts, understand how this process works, see if there's anything we can do to automate it, streamline it, or if there's some manual thing that's holding us up, perhaps the deadline just needs to be later. We need to understand that bottleneck and work around it. So this helps you really analyze your close that much more. Similar concept with reconciliations. Where should I focus my time on improving? And then on the late team member side, this to me is a really important page. In accounting, we have very much a hero complex. And, a lot of us will just take on work. We have a hard time saying no. We get overworked and then ultimately we get burnt out and need to try something new. And that's really a bummer for me. And so the recurring late team members page, this helps you understand if work is properly allocated, is it properly assigned out? Are some people doing way more than they should be? Are some people not pulling their weight? So this is optimizing your team members and how much work is getting done. This helps build a happier team, better culture, fairer distribution of work, and it's just how you get stuff done that much faster. So I love this page. It's not meant to make anyone feel bad about not doing work or who's late all the time. It's really about optimizing your team and making sure they're happy. We all know in accounting how much of a talent crunch there is, how difficult it is to retain talent. And this is a great way to make sure that you are doing that. Now, next up is the flux analysis that I mentioned. So flux analysis, high level, really understanding what has changed period over period. And I can tell you when I was booking journal entries, it was just so hard to think high level. I was really busy going through a bunch of manual work, had my head down in spreadsheets doing journal entries. Oh, how do I approach this transaction? This contract's a little weird. How do I apply appropriate guidance to this? So it's very transactional and didn't have time to pick my head up. Flux analysis is a product that allows you to do that on an automated basis. So if I were a FloQast user back in the day, I would have automated a ton of my reconciliation work. I wouldn't spend as much time doing that. I wouldn't have manual stand-up meetings anymore, blah, blah, blah. I could focus on Flux. And I would come in here and what you do is you look through very classic appearance. You have your balance sheet here. So we have assets, current assets, and we're going to look at cash. As you scroll down, of course, you'll have all the different assets, liabilities, so on and so forth. And this is, once again, integrated with your ERP and pulling information directly from your ERP. So on this cash account, At the end of this month, we had 8 million bucks. At the end of last month, July 2022, we had $7.9 million. So that's an increase of $110,000 or about 1.4% in the account. Within your flux analysis module, you then set materiality thresholds that are appropriate for your company. Within our demo account, they're rather small. So $110,000 and 1.4% qualifies as material. And what that means is we're now required to leave an explanation around why that balance changed. So we're going to assign that workout to Dan Carr, and Alex Pukos is going to review it. It's due September 8th and September 12th. And you can see this work has already been completed. So Dan came in here and told us, hey, this increase of 111 is due to collections. Makes perfect sense. Sounds great. He signed off on it. I'm feeling confident. If I'm Alex Pukos, I'm coming in here, reading it really quickly, and I'm going to sign off on it as being good to go. So that's our flux analysis product. And really, I'm excited to wrap it up with those areas where we can get strategic. At FloQast, we believe that accountants are really, it's an exciting time within the industry because we're being elevated to take on higher level work. A lot of operational work is being put on our plate. And in my opinion, helping the company work more efficiently is just a lot more exciting than what we've had to do historically. So fun time to be an accountant here at FloQast. We're trying to support that move into the future, make you as operationally excellent as possible. I want to say thank you for joining the demo. Appreciate you taking some time out of your day. If you'd like to learn more about some of our other automation solutions and see if FloQast might be a good fit for you, feel free to hit that demo now button, chat with one of our wonderful account executives, and just see if there's a good fit here. Thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.